Hey there, Benabook here. Today is my entire phone collection as of March 28th, 2026. I have 149 phones and 5 tablets, so this makes for 144 devices. Anyway, let's begin. I think I'm sick today, so expect many sneezes. The phones will be placed around here so I can put them back into this cabin that my dad will bring over to my room. Anyway, let's start. Here's my Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini Pro 2. Got one 2024, I believe. Here's my Red Bull L. Got one 2026. Here's my Nokia Lumia 940. Got one in 2023. This one works by Bluetooth loops. I tested my Samsung AC charger the other day. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Spiker on TMN. Got one 2026. Also, the buzzing noises from the fan in my mom's bedroom, which is where I am. Here's my Samsung Galaxy J4 Plus. Got one in 2026. Here's my multi-laser MS45S. Got one in 2025. Here's my Motorola one. This case has been pretty bored. So yeah, goodbye case. Got one 2022. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Pocket Duos on team. Got one in 2026. I'm not gonna buffer turning on all these devices so that I don't have to deal with it later to unlock all of them. Wait a second. We are good to go. Here's my Motorola Moto G first generation. Got one 2024. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Z03. Got one 2025, I believe. I don't remember quite exactly when I got this one. Here's my CC SC452 TV. Got one 2024. It was the second phone I got in 2024, by the way. Here's my LGL20. It's definitely coughing a lot too. Got one 2025. Here's my LG K8 2016. Got one 2026. Here's my Motorola Moto G5 Latam. Got one 2025. Here's my Motorola Moto G45. Got one 2025. This is surprisingly the newest from my collection. It was released in 2024. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Young Plus Duos TV. Got one 2023. Albeit without a battery, it works both for broken display. Here's my Samsung Galaxy J8. Got one 2025. Here's my Samsung Galaxy One. This is the Gran Quattro variant. This one is GTI 8552B. The other ones you've seen is GTI 8550. If I said GTI 8852B, it's actually GTI 8552B. I corrected, I think. Got some 2022. This is my old phone, but I broke it a lot, and surprisingly, the touchscreen still works. Here's my Milwayi 400. Got some 2024. Also on the same day, here's my multi-laser MS50G. Also on 2024, of course. Here's my Motorola Spice Key on Clio. Got this on 2025. I should bring the next two smartphones up because they are from different generations, albeit close to each other. Here's my Motorola Moto G6 Plus. Got this on 2026. This one works by boot loops after you turn it off. Here's my Motorola Moto G7 Plus. Got this one. This one has switched hands over the years, but most recently I got this one around 2024. Here's my Redmi 6A. Got this one in 2026. Pretty fitting actually. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Z03 Core. Got this one in 2026. This one works but has lines over the display and gets stuck in the charging screen. If you bypass the charging screen itself, which I've only done once, then it basically boot loops, I think, or it gets frozen on the startup screen. I don't remember. I mean, this happened once, but I don't remember. I think it was when I got the phone and charged it. For a very cheap charger, I think. Here's my Asus Zenfone for a selfie. This one works, but it fails to turn on. Got this one in 2026. Here's my Motorola Moto E7. Got this one in 2025. This one was my old phone from 2022 to 2025. Like how the Galaxy one was actually from 2019 to 2022, the Galaxy one. I switched because this thing was basically unusable. And it works, but it's pretty laggy because it's basically unusable. Here's my Microsoft Lumia 535. Got this one in 2023. This one works well with battery issues. Although it doesn't work on a regular charger, I have to use the universal charger instead. Here's my iPhone 4S. This one sadly does not work. Got this one in 2024. Here's my Motorola Moto E 2nd generation. Got this one in 2026. Here's what appears to be a Samsung but is not. Here's my Yeekstel G929. Got this one in 2026. This one I found on the sidewalk. This works, but the touchscreen doesn't. And also has an alarm set on it. Here's my TCL Semco 3C Plus. Got this one in 2025. This one I believe does not work. I tried any battery hunt. Here's my Samsung Galaxy J5 Prime. I don't quite remember when I got this one, but I believe it was in 2024, late 2024. This one also has an alarm set on it. So yeah. Here's my LG Optimus L3. Got this one in 2025. The focus is a bit not focusing, but that's okay. This just doesn't really have to be based on focus or anything. Here's my LG K22 Plus. Got this one in 2026. This one works, but with a totally broken display. So, one of the workers in my school actually used this as their main phone. Here's my Samsung Galaxy J1 Mini on Clio. Got some 2025. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Fame. Not to be confused with the US phone called the Samsung Galaxy Ring, which is also not to be confused with a new type of ring that I think they released in like 2025 or 2026, I don't remember. Got some 2026. Here's my Motorola Moto E7 Plus. Only a side of the screen works. Got one 2026. Here's my Motorola Moto E5 Playgo. Got one 2022, I believe. This one charges, but does not turn on because there's an error on the system. I believe it says. Hell no, I've never seen that message since like 2023 or something. Here's my Redmi 5. This one works, but it's me account locked. Got one in 2020, 2024. Final answer. Here's my Samsung Galaxy J4 regular model. Got one 2025. Recently, like not recently, but whatever, the screen flied. Previously had a screen, but it was quite detached, and now it just flied. Here's my Samsung Galaxy 5, also known as the Evo the close right. On team. It's on Android 2.2 Froyo instead of 2.1 Clear like these other models. Got one 2024, I believe. I don't remember, I think it was 2024, let me try. I remember. Yep, it was 2024. But I haven't found out it worked until like 2025. And then I realized I could just use a B5722 battery in 2026. And so that's how it works now. But I think it can't charge, that's an issue. Here's my Motorola Click on T-Mobile. I know it's called the Dext, but because it has a T-Mobile logo, I'm calling it the Click. And you guys think because it has the Anatel certification, because Brazil, which is actually where I live. You might think it's the Dext, but I call it the Click because of the T-Mobile logo. Tesla 2025. It's actually one of the first two phones I got in 2025 from the flea market finds. Here's my LG Prime Plus ACTV. This one works but has a ton of battery issues. Right now it's stuck on the battery not recognized screen when I charge it. It's on 2024. This one is external TV support. Yeah, very cool, very nice. Here's my Motorola Moto E20. Got one 2025. This one works, but I don't know what there's a screen on it. The screen works perfectly fine, by the way. I'm organizing it so my smartphone is not mixed into the basic phones category or else I'll be mad. Here's my Motorola Destino on Nextel. That's on 2024. This one works, but has an issue. Every time I charge it, it says battery unknown. It just dies quickly every time I turn it on and off like 3 times. And then the 4th time it doesn't turn on anymore. And if it died, it just said battery low. And yeah. Here's my Sony Ericsson Live of Walkman. Got some 2024. This one works but has a code on it. Also, I don't know if the charger fits with my new Samsung AC charger that I got from the flea market this year. I think it doesn't, but it fits with my other USB-C charger, so what's the issue? Here's my LG K9 TV. Got some 2024. Just see my daily phone until the battery was bloated somewhere in 2025. Not much to say. To end off the smartphones, here's my Samsung Galaxy Star Trios. That's on 2023. This one, I think doesn't work. I tried with a battery that quite almost doesn't work. It just did not turn on. Moving on to the 5 tablets I have. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Tab 3. Got this one 2026. This one does work, but it has some battery issues, like it drains every 4%. Then at a completely random time, it turns off. Here's my Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 7.0 Wi-Fi. Got this on 2026. I don't have the charger for it, it's a proprietary 20 pin, which is different than my 18 pin. Here are two multi-laser M7S quad-core tablets. I got this one in 2023 and I got this one in 2024. This one is actually the last tablet or phone I got in 2024. The last phone's in the basic phone section. This white one doesn't work. It was actually a childhood tablet and I kept breaking it. Albeit, I didn't have this tablet as my main. It was between 2018 and 2019 before I got the Galaxy one. And it was shared. But I didn't really use it often because it was a tablet from a child from one of my mom's relatives. Many relatives, actually. Who lives in a street pretty near me that we used to go every time we were in school. And this one was from the flea market. This one is extremely broken, it doesn't work. And this one works, but it's a broken display because I accidentally broke it. When organized by Focalex, I accidentally broke it sometime between December 2024 and late January 2025. But it still charges and works. I think the touchscreen doesn't work. To end off the tablets, I thought it ended, but it doesn't. Here's my Positivo YPY AB10. It's in its sleeve. Oh, there you go. This is pretty big, so I have to grab it off camera. I'll also take this yellow thing off it. I know my mom's bed will look extremely messy after this, which it will. Anyway. I've never taken the sleeve out of a tablet ever again. Here it is. And the big mess I've left with it. This one actually has a teeny tiny little camera. And it's a school tablet, as you can see here. This one sadly doesn't work, and it requires a proprietary charger that was used mostly on Alcatel and Motorola mobile phones. I think TCL mobile phones in China as well. Alright, now let's put it to my case before it makes a very big giant mess when I'm done. Also, I got this tablet in 2026. For some reason, the right part of the tablet's case is bulged when I put it back. I don't know what happened. This takes a while to get back, actually. Yeah, that was pretty chunky. Now moving on to basic phones and semi-smartphones and flip phones and sliders. It's gonna be the most I have of, I think. Here's my Motorola i455 on Boost Mobile. Got one 2024. Here's my Samsung GT E2330B. It worked once and never again. Got one 2023. Here's my LG Onyx on Oi. I have to open it very carefully because I broke it by half one day in 2024. I think it was in late 2024, early 2025, I don't remember. Yeah, basically got So into happy pieces because the hinge something and I don't feel like I'm gonna mount it again after that. Got some 2023 if I haven't already said it already. Here's my real one. This one is very unknown, but works but has some lines on the screen which is very underlined for a basic phone. Got some 2024. It's say around May. Before May, I don't know. Here's my Samsung GT E2210L. Got some 2023. It's on works but oops. Here's my Nokia 1616 That's on 2024. This one barely recognizes SIM cards for some reason. I think that's an issue. Here's my Samsung Squash on Vivo. Got on 2024. This is actually the last one I got in 2024, by the way. This one works but has battery issues. Here's my Samsung Kiwi. Got on 2024. This is the battery from my Samsung Galaxy Pocket Duos. And my Samsung Galaxy Pocket Duos uses the battery from the Samsung Kiwi. Yeah, it works, but I have to press really hard on some buttons to get it working. Here's my Samsung GT E3217B on Vivo. Got on 2023. This one worked and then for some reason it stopped working. Here's my Motorola C155 on 2. Got one 2024. This one among 3 other of my Motorola devices, including another one, stopped working. This is 1 out of 5 Motorola devices that already stopped working. Talking about it, here's my Motorola Versa Z3 on Clevo. Got one 2024. I was just checking to see if I got the date right, and I did. God, the focus is gone. Oh, there we go. This one worked once and then never again. Here's my Samsung SG8 C510L. Got on 2025. Yeah, this one came from loaded battery, so I threw it out. Here's my Red Prime 2.4. Got on 2024. It's around June. It's actually one of the only phones I got in June 2024. And also the Redmi 5 on August. This works without a battery, but yeah. Here's my multi-laser Vita 4. Got one from my old school. Got one 2025. This one works, but it really recognizes Micro's SIM cards. Here's my LG GM205. That's on 2024. Don't sneeze. There you go. There you go. I think I sneezed like 3 times off recording when I was trying to clean everything. Notice how the audio quality difference because my thumb on the speaker. It's actually the bottom filter. Let's check how much. 53%. Yeah, that's still worth it. Anyways, that's on 2024 if I haven't said already. This one works, but I haven't tested it since like I don't know, probably late 2025 or something. Here's my Samsung GT E1500. That's on 2024. This one works, but I tried unlocking a game with email, and of course that didn't work because the servers were dead. Also did not account. 3 out of 5 Motorola devices that are no longer working. Here's my Motorola X115. Actually, another device just got added to the list of phones that are no longer working from Motorola, actually. That's a ton of phones actually. Yeah, this one stopped working. Also, a key fell out. I got that EX115 in 2025 if I have noticed that already. Here's my Motorola T190 on Wii and MTV Music. Mobile, I think. MTV Mobile. I know they're both two different carriers because MTV had a carrier and Oi had a carrier until 2022. It became when it was replaced with their fiber service, which also got replaced in 2025. And Oi is bound to get ceased to exist in 2026 because of a huge United government. But anyway, that's political here. That's on 2025. This one uses a weird type of battery that I don't have the charger for. Even my universal charger doesn't allow it. I think. Here's my Redfin Music 2. I keep confusing my Prime 2.4 and Volt L to this specific model number. This is a Prime 2.4 Volt L to offers. And once in a while. Yeah. Got one 2023. Here's my Motorola screen on 2. This is like 4 out of the 6 Motorola devices that are no longer working. The only ton of Motorola devices I have was just randomly stopped working. Got one 2023. This one stopped working for no reason. Same issue as the X150, I think. Just fell. Oh my god, have I got to fix this. Here's my Nokia 1221 new version. New version means it has these different keypads than the ones you usually see. Yeah, that counts as new. Got some 2025. I actually got this in July alongside my Sony Ericsson K300i, but I couldn't view it until August because it was in a different city. Should not be news up, but if you saw my previous phone collection videos or other vlog related videos, you might have known. Here's my Nokia X100. Got some 2024. It's basically the single SIM variant. This is glue that I thought I'd tape over. I glue over papers to some of my phone's Nokia X300 first, and then I took it off because it was too ridiculous. And so the speaker was almost gone, but good because this phone also has WSOD issue, widescreen depth. Same my Nokia 110 2012 dual SIM, 110 dual SIM 2012, and my Nokia 2220 slide. Also had a reverse station on my Astra 202 and C206s. Got that one 2024. Here's my Nokia C206. Got some 2026. This one has a reverse issue that both my Nokia 110 dual SIM 2012 and Nokia X100s have. This one has a BSOD, no, not the blue screen of death, but just the black screen of death. Yeah, got some 2026. Here's my Alcatel OT223, my only Alcatel phone. This one works well for mobile display. That's on 2024. Here's my Lennox CX904A. That's on 2024 as well. The power button from different angles pressing is just so funky to me. Look at that. How to work with that way. Here's my Sony Ericsson K300i on 2. I actually changed default wallpaper on it a while ago when the battery was still charged for some reason. Got some 2025. I've been using a battery that I got in 2024, albeit I didn't know its phone supported. And this battery's from Israel. Yep, an Israeli battery. whatsoever. Could I just please? Oh, I realize what's going on. Yeah, got that one 2025. Got in July, but I couldn't go into August. Again. Here's my Nokia 1108. This only supports different types of SIM cards. This is actually a really rare model to get in Brazil. I think this is on Oi, but because of my SIM card variations, I cannot test a SIM card with this phone. That's on 2023. Here's my blue one. Got on 2025. This one actually works. Change positions. Here's my blue Jenny 2. Got on 2024. This one actually looks really nice and it works. Here's my LG A275. Sorry. Got on 2024. This one works, but the sound speaker is broken. I cannot play any sound whatsoever. Here's my Samsung GT E1086W, which is model number is E1086i, but doesn't my splash screen and everything is the E1086W. Yeah, got some 2023. Here's my Motorola i290 on Nextel. Got some 2025. Here's my Motorola W218 on Clivo. Got some 2025. This one I actually got almost an entire year before my friend Gumball Fox did. Gumball Fox got one in December 2025 and I got one in February. This one uses this battery from the Motorola screen and the Motorola Moto TV, which is yet to be seen. And this one works both from the display. I should be able to navigate it very well considering how cheap these phones were at the time. Anyway, here's my Gradiente TD550. Once upon a time, when the battery connectors didn't work, I chose, what if I would have thrown the battery in the trash or not, cause it couldn't connect anymore. And so I did a wheel of names, and it shows that I should throw the battery out, so I did. R.I.P. But yeah, it's actually been useful. Got some 2024. It's actually the oldest phone from my collection. It was released in 1998, I believe. Or wait, no, release date, I think this was 1978 when Gladiator, along an agreement with Nokia to copy Nokia's 5110 and a few other basic phones of their designs, and Gladiator's future phones. Similar to how they made an ATMD and Microsoft agreement in 2014 and 2016, separately alongside Foxconn. Anyway, here's my Nokia 8285i. Got some 2024. This one works but has an extremely bad battery. It doesn't even last a single minute. Also, Nokia tunes in MIDI instead of proprietary ringtone format, which can be sometimes considered as .000 or .text. Yep, they use .text files for music. I wouldn't recognize that as a composing sim. Here's my Motorola Razr V3 on Clivo. I mean, it's a V3i, not a V3. Got on 2024. You will clearly notice it's a V3i, that the Motorola icon is below the external display. If it was below this glass, it would be considered a V3, but it does. Some works, but the screen likes to fool around with me and not work sometimes. Or even show why and just die. It can take months to fix itself. Yup, months. Here's my Nokia C100 clone. This one's a clone. The actual Nokia C100 came out by ATMD in 2022. This one came out in 2010 with a MediaTek processor. Yeah, this one sadly doesn't work. It'd be amazing if it did work. Here's my Nokia 2220 Slide. Wait, that's a model number. Or is it 2220 Slide? Let me check. It is a 2220 slide. Change the positions. I don't think this one's comfortable enough. Yeah, fate. The Nokia works, but it also has a WSOD problem. Here's my Samsung Hero on Vivo. This one works, but I haven't tested since I got it. Got it on 2025. Here's my Motorola Grid on Nextel, just waiting to get this one. Got it on 2023 in the very first flea market finds actually. Alongside the Samsung Galaxy Young Plus Duos TV, Motorola iPhone 18, and a Nokia 6267 not yet sold. This one, for some reason, stopped working. No, it didn't stop working. One day in 2023, probably after October, I lost the battery for it, so for some reason it stopped working. Doesn't even work my F485 battery. Speaking of which, here it is. Here's my Motorola iPhone 85 on Nextel. Got it on 2024. There's actually 5 out of the 6 Motorola devices that stopped working. Because this one just randomly decided to stop working on a day. Previously it was working a few times via a regular B something 60 battery, I think. That's not her name. Here's like Gladiante GF760 on Brazil Telecom, which is a carrier that existed between 2001 and 2010. 2010 it was acquired by Ord. Sorry, this one stopped working again on a random day. I got that one in 2023. Here's my Nokia Astra 201 on. Change positions again. I hope this one's more comfy now. This one works, but with like battery fitting issues. It has Diamond Bus, which I always wanted on the phone. Yeah. Here's my Blackbird Curve 8350i on Nextel. That's on 2025. This one works, but for some reason, the screen has a bad flex cable because the last time I tested this, the screen was black, but it worked. Also, I think the battery was low. My dad said that the phone was not good. Here's one of my 2 Samsung GT E1203s. This one also has switched hands over the years. But most recently I got this one in, I believe late 2024. I don't remember it quite because it appeared on my January 1st, 2025 video. I got, I was bored so I made this. Also around like 6 p.m. Let's see the time I'm recording this, right? Yep, it's pretty near 7 p.m. actually, 3 minutes in. For you guys, it may be, I don't know, 4:57 or 5 p.m. Because you all have EST, but most of my viewers are from Brazil anyway, so they use regularly BST, which is actually 2 hours after EST. EST is the time that Acre uses, meanwhile Amazonas uses 1 hour behind time. Está sendo Globo, bom dia, Pernambuco. Anyway, here's my multi-laser Vita 3. Got one in 2025. It would make sense if I got in 2023. But yeah, it doesn't really fine. Here's my Nokia 7028-2. This is the battery from the Blue Brooklyn. This one actually works. Oh wait, I don't know what carrier it is. I think it's on Quivel. Yeah. Here's my Sony Ericsson T230. Got one in 2026. Haven't tested this yet, but I used the battery from the Sony Ericsson K300i. Here's my Nokia C300. Got one in 2023. I keep thinking it's 2024, but it's actually 2023. Late 2023, last week market finds it 2023. We got 5 phones. If I said I got the Nokia Lumia 940 in 2024, I actually got in 2023. Just a correction, a quick correction. This one surprisingly works, but like, I don't know what happens to the screen on it. Here's my Samsung Star TV. That's on 2026. This one sadly doesn't work. It's a Samsung Star, I wish it worked. Here's my Nokia Acer 202. Got one 2026. Also has that black screen. That should be SLD. Here's my last Samsung GT1203. Got one 2023. Original. Here's my Rio Flip 2.4. Got one 2023. Haven't tested since I got it because it requires an entire day to charge, according to the instruction manual. I think it's just for easy setup tips. For some reason it doesn't work anymore. I should test it with my Samsung AC charger. I haven't yet for some reason. Here's my Louis Vuitton K16 clone. Above here it's supposed to say like a random phone brand like Samsung or Sony Ericsson. Or these two. For some reason faded, so I can't see. I can't see around here. I think it would have said Sony Ericsson anyway. It's also referred to as a Sony Ericsson K16 or Samsung K16. It actually made another phone, but I don't have that yet. Got one 2025. This one actually doesn't work, I think. Here's my multi-laser Upplay 2019. If you press it hard, it almost feels like a phone vibrating. Got one 2024. All on the same day. Here's my Samsung S8 C276 on T. Got one 2024. This one actually has battery issues, I think. Here's my Sony Ericsson K200i. Got one 2024. I actually stuck a Nextel SIM card to it. If I find the battery for it, this will actually be good since I can test the phone with it. If I want to test like more phones for Nextel SIM card, yeah, that's not happening. Unless I unscrew it, which is already very hard for me to do on my own, and take the SIM card out. Here's my Samsung S8 G600. I can't figure it's D600. Also, I can't spell G very properly. Unless it's in like English. Or in phrases in Portuguese. Actually, I can't say it as a letter stand alone in Portuguese. Because it sounds like Z. Sometimes when I say in English, it just sounds like Z anyway. Like G. That's one 2025. Here's my LG Wine phone. KF300C. Got one 2025. This one works but has problems reading micro SD cards. Here's my Nokia 110 Dual SIM 2012 variant. Since there are multiple different variants of these phones, usually produced by HMD Global. Got one 2024, I believe. Yeah, but it's 2024. This one, I don't know. Yeah, this one has a WSOD issue too. Here's my multi-laser up dual SIM. This one worked until my dad threw out the battery because it was loaded. When I had to try to charge it. Yeah, nice charger blood. Here's my LG C299. Got one 2025. This one, yeah. It does actually work. Also, I covered all the phones for 2026, so it's just 2025 and 2023 phones from now on. Like this. Here's my DL-YC240. That's on 2024. It only supports a type of BL5C battery for some reason. Here's one of my two Motorola WX290s. That's on 2024. And already, here's my offer Motorola WX90. So I combined it to two, but I didn't see the offer one until now. Also got this one 2024. They both work. And I put custom sounds in them. I think they're like silent now for some reason. You can set a set a custom sound for your Alcatel and specific Alcatel phones, and also specific phones which is by TCL for Motorola. That's the WX90 and Moto something WX161 and WX180, I think. I don't know if that exists. Anyway, here's my multi-laser Murad Smart. Got some 2025. Actually, one of my first 2025 phones. This isn't really documented, but I used a proprietary battery, and also the review is very bad. The language options are not good. The TV only works outdoors, and also the UI looks very cheap. I guess because it runs a Spectrum chip, or whatever. Here's my LG KP151Q. Got some 2024. This one works, but battery issues. It comes with an external light and MMF playback, by the way. Here's my Siemens A52 on Clevo. Got some 2023. This one's so dead, I haven't tested it since 2025, around September. Here's my Motorola C1680i. That's 6 out of 6 Motorola phones that stopped working. Got some 2023. It stopped working somewhere October 2025 for no reason. But previously, just right before that, I realized I had a passcode after I put the SIM card to it. And I think it only works with US exclusive AT&T cards, and who wants that? Ultimate sad. Here's my Motorola Moto TV. Wait a second, what was that? Yeah. Oh, he said the release on it. God date, achieve date, yeah. That's on 2024. This one works both for the WSOD issue. Here's my Sony Ericsson K. I forgot the model number. Yeah, K550i. I didn't even see it, but I just remember it. Got one 2024. It only works if the battery is held, because the batteries I have need to be held in order for this to work. Using its own back cover. Or else, it'll just not fit. Yeah, it's just in space. Here's my Nokia 2630. Actually, it's a 20. I forgot the model number for it. 2310. Yeah, it's a 2310. Got some 2025. Yeah. This one I think is untested. Here's my ZT N290 on Clevo. Got some 2023. And this one works. It runs Java. Here's my Bright Baja. Got some 2024. I believe. And yeah, this phone on itself already works with like a little kissy cutters. If you even press hard on it or turn it on, it only goes to the music section for some reason. I mean, I didn't do any movement. I think it has a sensor inside it. Here's my Sony Ericsson W200i on T. Got one in 2023. Actually, I got this on 2024. Specific model. I'll tell you why I don't have the offer models in a minute. Anyways, this one does work, but it's locked to a passcode. Here's my Sony Ericsson W380i on T. Got some 2024. Actually, yeah, I got it in 2025. I thought I got it in 2023 or something. I didn't realize until now, but this entire chunk is missing. Yeah. This one works, but I have no idea if the buttons work. I think this one's locked. Last one, what that pink thing was in my hand, by the way, if you're a close viewer. Here's my Samsung Monday slider. Got some 2024. This one works both that BSOD issue that my Samsung GT-E2330B also surprisingly has. Alongside my Sony Ericsson Xperia Mini Pro 2, both I which didn't mention had that issue. Here's my Samsung GT B522. Got some 2024. Actually, I got some 2025. Some works with battery issues, except recently I tried it, no battery issues. And you know what? Look guys, I think I'm not gonna cover all the phones I have in this video because the basic phone section is now completely mixed. So yeah, expect some phones to be lost while explaining here. Yeah, expect that. Here's my Nokia Astra 205. Got some 2025. I got to a home in that city in 2025. And one of my cousins, one of my like 200 cousins had this specific phone. And yeah. Yeah. This one works with black display on 2025 actually. Here's an actual Nokia 2630. It's on Clevo. Got it on 2023. This worked once and then never again. Sad. Have I already explained this one? This is a multi-user upplay 2019 for you that I haven't already explained already. Got some 2024. Yeah, I already explained this one. Just needed a quick reminder that its name is actually the Upplay 2019 and not just the Upplay. Sorry for that. Here's my Motorola Rocker EM25. Got some in 2024, I believe. Yeah, 2024. This one sadly does not work, but it uses a battery and can work with my Motorola WX90 and even my Alcatel T223. Here's my BlackBerry Curve 9230 on Clevo. Got some 2023. For some reason it stopped working and I have no idea why. I mean it does, but it only shows a red light. Here's my Nokia X300. That's on 2023. This one untested. I haven't got the BL5C 5CT battery on it. And always looking at BL5C battery to me is kind of sad for some reason because I don't have it. Those last two were actually one of my first phones of the collection in 2023. Same day, by the way. Here's my LG A190B. Got one in 2024. So nice to play with me too. Like how one time it had an inverted screen. And it can also ghost operate alongside some of my other Samsung phones such as the SGH G600. It's on the charger without a battery. If you unplug the charger, yeah, expect a non-working phone. Yeah. Here's my Positivo P25. Got some 2024. Actually in April Fool's, but it wasn't really April Fool's. Speaking of April Fool's, it's only like 5 days before it happens. Yay. And it's actually only 4. This one works perfectly fine, just charges slow alongside my residual video for and other basic phones. I think we're reaching near the end. I think. Here's my Sony Ericsson W205 on Clevo. Got on 2025. Surprising. This one works, but it has a problem leaving SIM cards. Regular ones, by the way. Here's my Motorola C115 on Clevo. Got on 2024. This one was supposed to be one part of the pack that stopped working, but I forgot to add it till 707. Yeah, it stopped working a while ago. I have no idea why. Here's my Nokia 6267 on T. That's on 2023. This one's actually my only phone branded to a specific region app on a carrier, in this case the Tim Music Store, in its boot animation, which is shocking to me, but still. Oh, I forgot something. I always forget stuff when I come across them. Here's the last one, I think. Here's my Blue Z3. Got some 2023. This one works, but like a totally broken display. And that, my guys, is my entire phone collection as of March 28th, 2026. You guys enjoyed, and peace.